it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support of the channel. You can see that I have loaded into Westfield in my low premium tier 8 German heavy tank, which is a great tank. Now we're going to talk about a couple things on this one on Westfield. First thing we're going to talk about is some positioning. We're going to talk about hold down. We're going to talk about snapshots, and then we're going to discuss persistence, and all four of those things will come together into a pretty good game in the low. As far as positioning goes on Westfield, you'll see that I'm headed up here to the northwest, which I believe to be the critical terrain, and I'm turning my camera around, taking a look at what's going on around me, how many of my buddies are coming with me. Based on this being a 5-10 tier 8 and tier 9 with lots of heavy tanks, some pretty good hold down fighters, I figure this is going to be quite a scrap up here. And the first customer is an IS-3. Now I can't really top up and over this without letting him get a shot on me. The low's got decent depression right here, but not quite enough. And had he come a little bit further forward, he could have easily popped me in the lower hole right there. But he backs off. So my initial positioning is right here in this little saddle, which is a great place to come with a tank that has decent depression. If you have a lot of depression, over there with a 100.1 is nice. And you can see that I have a RHM back there. The Emil will come alive in a minute. I've got some guys camping way in the back down there, ST1 and a Defender. So we're spread out, not too bad. But I do have a couple tanks going down into the city. The Carnarvon and the JT are way down in there. So not much help to me up here. That's the initial position. But I can kind of control this middle road from here with the low. It's got a really good hold, decent depression as I mentioned, as long as somebody keeps the guys from coming up over on the side here and popping me in the side. So I've got to watch all those directions. There are a lot of enemy guns in the game still, so I do have to be careful. Now, the IS-3 comes forward, and instead of kind of holding me back, he starts backing up. And part of that is because he's getting pushed a little bit here by the Defender and the ST1. Not directly pushed, but he is in danger of potentially being shot by them. There's also some TDs back there. But I can tell that he's a rather skittish player just based on him backing up like this. The good news is he is pulling himself back into his help. I'll shoot into the Type 4's mantlet right there. And that brings me to the subject of snapshots. And what I've talked about before of just trying to get your shots, as many of them as you can. That was not a particularly high percentage shot. You can tell that by bouncing off the big heavy turret of the Type 4. I probably should have maybe aimed somewhere other than the mantlet, but I'm just snapping that off. I'll try to get that damage as I go, but as far as that goes, you know, snapshot, that didn't really do a whole bunch. But I'll keep at it. That's where the persistence thing comes in. So I back down such that the IS-3 can't rush forward, and I'll try to, I was trying to get into the side of his tank right there, and that would have pinned, but I don't. I get into his turret. Now the Emil drives up, and he's given me an opportunity against this IS-3. IS-3 is fired at him. Now he's running away. The Emil is able to hit him a couple times there. I will back up while I am reloading so that I don't get hit. And I'll put one more shot in there. I actually bounced one, I believe, from the T-38. Actually, the 32 missed me. And the OHO gets a shot with HE. Now the OHO is a problem because he is firing HE, so I am going to take hits from him every time he decides to get in there. And I'm able to bounce the 32. Shoots off my top hole, which is angled a little bit on the back slope, plus it's angled by the direction I'm pointing the hole, so those two combined help me out a bit here with 32. Now 32 gives me side turret, and then he turns it towards me, but I'm able to hit him on the cheek right there, and there go my gold rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and start using regular rounds. I'm going right for his sprocket, damage him, track him. The Emil is able to take him down. So you can see that positioning wise, I've decided to fight up here on what I believe is a critical terrain in the northwest. Micro positioning wise, which is a term you may not have heard, but I am using this little saddle because I understand what the different crossfires are on it, and I understand what I have to pay attention to while I'm in here. You can see that I move up enough to get some shots, and then I move back to protect myself. Things are not going swimmingly really here. Now there's the snapshot. I'll talk about things not going swimmingly in just a minute. But I said we would discuss snapshots. I was loaded. There was not likely to be anything else for me to shoot. If he continued to go towards the ML2 and the ST1, which I expected him to actually do based on how many tanks they have there, I probably wasn't going to get another shot at him for a while, so I took it, and I was able to hit it. Remember that shots aren't taken are always missed, or at least they never have any damage. Now he doesn't push in there, and these guys are being a bit timid against the 2 tanks they're facing, and they really could have cleaned these guys up a lot faster. And that's good news for us, but because they want to play peekaboo, I'm able to sit back here and take more shots, and this is where I get persistence. I'm just being persistent. I'm trying to fight multiple axes, and we're in kind of trouble right here. I figured this game was more or less over for me. If you take a look at the mini-map, holy cow, we are completely surrounded right here. They're ahead of us by 1 on tank, but it looks like they're ahead of us by 50. But I'm just going to keep on being persistent. I will take shots where I have them. I'll attempt to protect myself and angle myself as much as possible, and we'll just keep on working on the tanks that give me shots. This guy comes around, so I'll pop one into his side. Now the Emil's in kind of trouble here. He doesn't have any more shots, and he ends up dying right there. I've got multiple guys. Come on, reload. Nope. The P Victoria is wise, gets out of the way. And now I've got the T-30 trying to back up. Put a shot into him. There's another snap. Not a high percentage shot, but I got it in there. Now I've got to be careful. I know I've got that Sturv back there, so I've got at least 1 ally. If they do come up and over too high, he should have shots on him. But it's really just me, the Patton, and this 100. So it's not hopeless, but it's not looking great. And what I really would like to avoid is getting hit by the HE out of the Type 4. In fact, there goes one of my buddies. Now he makes a very foolish move. The T-32 is going to push in there. Had he actually been more aggressive when he had hit points earlier in the game, that would have helped his team out quite a bit. The P Victoria is up there, the T-30, the OHO, and the T-34, which I don't quite notice until about there, so a little late on that. I should have been checking my left side a little bit more. He had shown no inclination to come up and over, but guess what? The reason he didn't was the 100.01 was still alive, and once that guy died, he felt like he could get up in there. I thought maybe the T-30 was going after me. If I'd have started moving a little bit earlier after him, I might have got that kill right there, but as it was, he gets right behind that dead tank, and I have to take a low percentage shot there, which bounces off some highly angled armor. But we're just looking at maybe getting into here, and we're a little bit more ahead of them now, and unfortunately, all the snapshots, all the RNG I had starts to go away right about here in the game, and you got to expect that. If you're going to get good at RNG at some point, you're probably going to get bad. I'm really trying to get up to the top of that turret, or maybe even to his hatch, which is all going to be very difficult to pin, but it's the best shot I've got. Come up here, see if I can get there. No, that's too high. Again, checking left. I'm worried that T-30 or the OHO is going to come boiling over that top there. Good news, the Sturv is still keeping them honest. They know if they show up, he's going to hammer them. Another bounce off that guy. The Patton has moved up to help me. He puts a shot on the guy. He makes a run for it. I'm not quite loaded. I stopped moving, unfortunately. Had I moved up, I may have caught him right there. Pop up here. He's looking the wrong way, and I'm able to kill him now, finally, with a bit of weak turret armor pointed at me as he spins his turret. Fortunately, the T-30 missed me. High roll, he probably could have killed me. I got the OHO coming in there. I'm thinking, yes, I got more damage on you, and whoa! I started backing up before I actually pickled that shot. Oh, please miss me. He does. Going for his cheek, but don't quite get it. And this is, like I talked about at the beginning, the persistent part. I just kept working that spot. As long as it was viable and I had allies around, I just kept on working on it. So I'm at 4,100 damage, still alive. Things looked pretty bad there for a while. We got the Type 59 out in the middle. He's in bad trouble. He gets hammered. I hit him. He dies. And the WZ gets tracked down. I don't get any more damage, but 4,300 damage. Ace tanker in the low. Using a couple things. Good initial positioning. Good micro positioning. SA on what's going on around me. Using snapshots as required. Angling, hold down, and persistence. And all those things really put together can typically give you a pretty good game. In this case, a better than good game. So I hope you learned something out of this. Use some of those things. Let me know if some of the things you learned from my videos are working down in the comments. I would appreciate that. Otherwise, as always, we will see you.